Everyone, my name is Ankit Jain. I welcome you all to my channel Tech Journey with Ankit. Today's video is another interview question based on the LWC. In today's video, we will be exploring one of the coding questions that has been asked to the experienced professional. We will try to understand the problem statement and also we will build the solution around it. So without further delay, we can get started with our today's video. In case you folks like to have one-to-one connect with me, you guys can do that on the top mid. If you scan this QR code or also check the link in the video description, you will be navigated to the top mid. If you go to the top mid, there are multiple guides which are available here. Like you do have the admin guide, data cloud guide. In case you folks have attended the bootcamp, then you will get the bootcamp and the notes along with the interview prep guide. Right, you can download all those guides. This interview prep guide is particular where I will be sharing the code that we will be building today as the part of the problem statement. Moreover, if you folks like to have one-to-one connect with me, you guys can do that from the top mate as well. Not only that, in case you folks like to have a connect with the larger community, please scan this QR code and join the Telegram group where we do discuss all the different types of questions that can be asked in the interview and also any queries that you folks encounter in your Salesforce journey. Moreover, if you guys scan this QR code and download the interview prep guide, you will not only get the code that we are building today, but also you will get the 350 plus frequently asked interview question in which I have put the solutions for each and every question in very detailed with the proper snippets and with the multiple examples so that you folks can speed up your interview preparation journey. This journey or this guide already helped lots of folks to get speed up their interview preparation. So I hope this will also help you too. So make sure that you folks do download and check out this from the top mate as well. Now let's go to the problem statement and try to understand what we have to build in the today's video. So as per the problem statement, the ask here is we have to build the Lightning Web Component. On that Lightning Web Component, we have to go and load the account records. When the user check those account records or click on those account records, we have to go and display the related opportunities and the cases. The complex part here is we have to allow the user to click the multiple accounts, and for all those accounts we have to go and put the opportunities as well as the cases. Not only that, we have to make sure that the key information on those records that we are loading, they should be clickable as well so that user can route to the respective record detail page. So this is what we will be building today. So by the end of this, we will be having the component which will look something like this, where the user can go and select the multiple accounts, and for those selected record related cases and the opportunities will show up in the separate table. I will not say this is a quite straightforward because it involves definitely good amount of JS work. Moreover, the few basic Apex knowledge as well. So this is a good question again to evaluate someone who is having the experience of 4+ in the Salesforce industry. So what we will be building today, let me quickly show you the demo before we actually go and start building the solution. So we will be having the component which will work something like this. First, we will be loading the accounts, and when the user select the particular account, for that account, we will be loading the cases as well as the opportunity. Here, the user can go and select the multiple cases, and the cases belongs to all the selected accounts as well as the opportunities for the selected account will be coming up in a same table. So that's what we have to build as a part of today's exercise. Now, without further delay, we can get started with the Apex code. So we will get started by creating the Apex class first. In my Apex class, there will be two methods that we will be building. First one will be to load the account, and the second one will be to load the related cases and the opportunity. So let's get started. Let me go and increase the font size. So here I am giving the class name here as account with the related cases and opportunity. Right. So as I said, there will be two methods available here. Let me go and create the first Aura enabled method. As I have to go and invoke this method from the Aura from the wire decorator. So here I'll be putting the cacheable equal to true. My first method that I will be creating here is the public static void get account method, where I will be getting all the accounts. Right, and here I go and put the for account ACC, and here I'll be putting the select ID, comma, I'll be getting the account name, industry, from account, right? And here I am keeping the limit to 10. If you want to get all, you can do that, but let me keep it the limit for 10 for now. Now, why I am iterating over the accounts here, because the kind of a data that I have to send from the Apex, it is something like I have to make sure that my link is clickable. And to make the link clickable, I have to go and populate the URL field while iterating over the record. And to do that, the very first thing that I will be doing here is I will be creating the wrapper class. You guys can also do the same thing in the JavaScript as well. I will show you in both. First, I will show you how you can do that for one of the table in the Apex, and then for the other one, I will show you how you can do the same thing in the JavaScript as well. So here I go and create a wrapper class. Here I am giving the class name here as the account wrapper, where I will be putting the multiple fields like the account, industry, right? And the third field that I am putting up here is the account ID. And the last field that I am putting up here is the @ enabled, that is the public string, that is the name URL, right? And here I go and create this field. Again, the getters and setters are not required because we are not setting anything. So getters and setters are not required here actually. So if you want, you guys can remove the getters and setters and only keep those fields that you want as a part of this operation. You can definitely get the multiple fields. Here I am keeping it limited to 2 fields because the problem statement does not talk about what all specific type of fields that we have to get, right? So let me go and iterate over this, and what I will be doing here is I will be populating this wrapper. So to do that, the very first thing that I am doing here is I will be creating the instance of the wrapper account. Let me go and paste it up here, right? Account wrap is equal to new account wrapper, right? And after that, I will be populating all the fields. So first I'll be populating the name, industry, account ID. And now coming back to the name URL, how you go and populate the name URL. To do that, what you have to do here is, whenever you have to go and populate the URL, it's very simple. You have to simply put a slash, and then you have to append this with the account ID. As simple as is. It will be, Salesforce will automatically take care of the hyperlink part in the data table if you go and pass the data in this particular form. But again, I have to return the multiple records. So what I am doing here is I will be defining here the list of account wrapper, right? And in my code, I will be adding that entry in that list. So here I go and adding the entry in the list. Now the next thing that I will do here now is I have to also get the related accounts as well, related data as well. As I said, whenever the user go and select the particular accounts, I have to get the related cases and the opportunity. So let me go and create another method to do that. So here I go and create another aura enabled method. Again, I have to perform the reading operation only. So here I'll be putting the cacheable equal to true for the better performance. I'll be putting the public static void get related records. You can give any name. Okay, and here what I will be doing here is I will be creating another, writing down another Apex class or another a SQL query with the help of which I can go and get the related data. But I have to get the related records only for the selected entities. So what I am expecting in my method here is the list of account ID. Right, and based on that account ID list only, I will be iterating over the record. So again, I am doing the same thing in the for SQL loop. Here I go and put the select ID, comma, name, comma, select ID, comma, case number. Let me not get the name, it's actually not required. Right, select case number. Another thing that I want here is the priority. You guys can see in the output, I have to also show the account name in the table, right? So let me also get the account name from cases. Moreover, I also be getting the related opportunities as well. So here I go and put the select ID, comma name, comma stage name from opportunities, right? But again, I am interested in only those one which are the part of my list collection. So I am completing my SQL query. which will look something like this. Here I am getting the records, right? And now what I will do next as a part of next processing, let me first go and close the loop. I will be iterating over the record, and I will be putting this record into another wrapper class. So I will be creating another wrapper class now to store the related data. So here I go and put public class and naming it as a related wrapper. In this, I'll be defining the three fields. First one here, I'll be creating the field like the related ID, or you can also put the account ID. It's one and the same thing. Public. Sorry, because of the IntelliSense, these things are coming up. Okay, that's fine. So here I am putting the public string account ID. Also, I will be storing the related cases as well as the related opportunity. So here I am defining another field, that is the list of case list. And like this, I'll be creating another field to store the opportunities as well. Again, I am iterating over that list and populating the data into the related wrapper. So again, I'm creating the instance of the related wrapper, right? Related wrap is equal to new of related wrapper. And in that related wrapper, I will be populating all the three fields. I'll be populating the case list, opportunity list, and also well as the account ID as well. So related wrap dot account ID is equal to ACC dot ID. Again, I have to send the multiple records. So what I will be doing, again, I have also missed to do the same thing in the first one as well. As I have to send the multiple record, let me go and put the return type here as the list of account wrapper. And what I am doing here is, here I will be returning the account wrap list. Similarly, here I will be returning the multiple records of the related wrapper. So here I'll be putting the list of related wrapper. And let me go and define that list here, right, for the related wrap list. And what I am doing here is whatever the instance that we have created, I'm adding that instance in the related wrap list as well. And once all the processing has been done, here I go and return the related wrap list too. Very simple, right? The two methods, first one will be loading all the accounts. Second one will be loading the related data. And with the help of wrapper classes, we are sending the data back to the Lightning Web component. Let me go and deploy this. And the next thing that we want to do here is, again, we are getting some error. Or enable fields require at least one of the following label. Okay, one thing that I missed to do is I missed to go and put the public keyword. So here I am putting the public. Let me go and check the same thing here. It looks good. Line number 24. Okay, I believe this should be good now. After we put the public keyword, let me go and deploy this. A variable does not exist. So here I am putting the correct variable name. Control S and deploy this one more time. Now my Apex class is created. The next thing that I will be doing here is I will be invoking this Apex from the Lightning Web component. So here I go and create the Lightning Web component, and I'm giving the name here as display related records for account. Okay, and here I go and create the Lightning Web component. Now the first thing that I will be doing here is I will be navigating to my JavaScript file where I will be invoking this particular method so that I can go and load the data. So here I go, perform the import operation, right, from the method. So this is my class name, @Salesforce/Apex. This is my class, and in my class, I do have the method getAccount, to which I will be invoking the method. And here I go and define the wire decorator so that I can go and invoke that method with the help of wire decorator. Now here I go and do this. Here I'm putting the wire. I will be calling this method getAccounts. And whatever the records that I am getting, I'm storing it in the form of property. Now I'll be loading this record in the form of data table. So navigating to the HTML file, here I'll be defining the data table. Again, to do that, here first thing I'll be checking whether the data is available in the accounts property or not. So here I'll go and check the data is available in the accounts.data. I believe that is the property name account. So this looks good, right? Then and then only we go and display the record in the form of data table. Again, how to display the lightning data table? If you don't know, you can always go back to the component library. Let me quickly go there. And from here, I am looking for the lightning data table. Look for the lightning data table. So this is how the lightning data table will look like. I'm copying the lightning data table template, coming back to my code and pasting it here. Now we will go and make the changes. In our scenario, the key field for the record that we are loading, it is available in some another field. So it is available in the which field? Okay, account ID. Do we have the account ID? Yeah, it is available in the account ID. So I'm copying this account ID, navigating to my HTML file, and I'm putting that account ID here. The data that we will be loading, it is available in the accounts.data. So here I go and populate and put the accounts.data. Now the next thing we have to go and define the column structure. So let me go and define the property name, SEC columns, navigating to the JavaScript file, and here I go and define that SEC column structure. Again, you can refer the documentation one more time how to define the column structure. So this is the standard way of defining the column structure. So here again I'm copying this for the reference and pasting it here. Right? Again, definitely we have to make the changes as per our ask, but let me quickly check the variable names are correct. Yes, it looks good to me. Now, the first thing that I have to go and display in my table is the account name, where I have to make sure that it is also an hyperlinked as well. So I am giving here the label as an account name. Now coming to the field name, in the field name, whatever the field that you want to display. So again, in my scenario, I have defined the field with the name of name URL. So I want to go and display the field that is the name URL. The next thing that I have to make sure that I am defining the type for that field as the URL. Now the next thing, as this is the name URL, but we want to make it hyperlink and we want to display the account name there. So I have to go and add the type attributes there, right? So here I go and put the type attributes, colon, right? And in my type attribute, the first thing that I will be defining here is the label. How my label of which particular field should go and display the label. So here again, I am putting the field name. In my scenario, the label should be coming up from the name field, right? So here I go and put the name. Now the next thing, I'm also defining the here the target. This is correct, right? Yeah. The next thing that I'll be defining here is the target, so that whenever the user click on the hyperlink, it should open up in a separate tab. This is how you go and define the hyperlink field in your lightning data table. Next thing that I will be putting up here is the label, where I say that the label for the next column that I have to display here is the industry. The API name for the industry is nothing but the industry. You have to make sure that you are getting the exact keys from the file and putting up here. Again, the type that I am putting up here is the text. And let me go and right. So we have loaded the two columns that we have to display in the form of data table. Now coming back to the HTML file one more time. What I want to do here is whatever the rows that user have selected, I want to go and access that row. How you can do that? So whenever you have to access the rows, you have to go and use an out of the box event that Salesforce is providing, that is the on row selection event. You guys can see by using this particular event, you can access whatever the rows that user have selected. So again, how to use that method, they have given in very detailed in the documentation. You have to simply go and define that event here. As soon as the user will go and select the row, an event will fire, and you guys can go and handle that event in the JavaScript file. Coming to the JavaScript file to get the selected rows, what you have to do here is let me go to the HTML. What is the method name? Get selected name. It's okay. You can use the same thing and put up here. And here I am having all the selected rows. Let me go and give the more logical name, although it does not matter, but let's give the more logical name. Here I am putting the method name here as get related data, you can put anything, and this is the method that I'll be putting up in my JavaScript file. So as soon as user clicked on this method will invoke, and what we will be getting here, whatever the rows that user have selected. Now the next thing that we have to do here is, I don't want the complete row, I want only the IDs from that row. So what I can do here is, let me go and put up here, let's selected account ID is equal to, I will be iterating over this row dot map, and from the each row I will be getting the account ID. Sorry. Why I am using here the account ID? Because again the same thing in my wrapper class, I have given the field name as the account ID. That's why here again I am using the account ID, and what I do have now here is the selected account ID. We will go and console log this to check whether we are getting the selected account IDs correctly or not. So rather than we go and build our complete code, we will take a pause here. We will try to understand my code is working till here as expected or not, whether the records are loading as expected or not, and the selected IDs are printing correctly or not. If this is yes, then we will make the next step. Let me go and deploy this. We will navigate to the all, and we will try to add that component. So here I am. I have already created one app page. Okay, let me check whether I have exposed the component to the app page or not. No. So let me go and expose this first. Here I go and define the target. Here I am adding the target as the app page. Let me go and deploy this. Navigating here, clicking on the edit page, selecting the option display, what is the component name? Display related records for account. As of now, this component is not available. Okay, let me refresh one more. Okay, folks, so I have done the debugging offline. So there are two issues in my code. The first thing here is, you guys can see I am using the wrong name here. Actually, if you go to my Apex class, the field that I have created here is the opportunity list. So coming back here to the JavaScript file, and here I go and put the opportunity list. This is the one typo that I have done, right? And another mistake that I have done, moreover this here also I can see there's opportunity list. So let me correct here as well. So there's one more mistake that I have done. Here I want to access the related data, but I have not made any query to the related data for the opportunity. So here I go and access the related data, something like account.name. Okay, so that we can access the related fields as well. Now here I go and deploy my Apex class with that change, and also deploying my JavaScript class as well. Now let's go and refresh the page and figure it out whether it is coming up as expected or not. So here I go, clear the cache, refreshing the page. Here if I go and click on the top mate, now you guys can see I do have the related coming up, related cases, and the opportunities are coming up from the multiple objects as well. Right? I hope you folks have found this particular video helpful. Trust me, there are lots of learning when you go and try to implement this. You will definitely encounter few challenges. Try to debug it. Try to figure it out where you are going wrong. There might be typo. There might be some silly mistakes that you have done. Right? And go and build the component which will definitely help you in your project. And as I said, if you want to download the code, it will be available in the interview prep guide as well. For the time being, thank you. Have a good time, folks. More time, and here I go and search for the display. Here you guys can see display related records for account. Yeah, this component is available. Let me go and drag this component and put up here and clicking on save. So as per the expectation, the component is coming up well, right? I can see the records are coming up along with the industry. Now let's go and check after we make the selection whether the values are populating correctly or not. So here I navigate to the console. Here the console. Here I am selecting this. Yeah, my selected account ID is coming up. If I go and select more than one, two account IDs are coming up. If I am selecting more than three, yes, all the three records or account IDs are coming up as expected, so that we are good to move forward now. Now, as a part of next step, what we have to do here is we have to go and invoke another method, right? And we have to go and load the related data. So very first thing, again, I am importing this method from @Salesforce/Apex slash get related records, right? And coming back here, again, I want to do this invocation in the separate method. So let me go to another method, get account, get cases and opportunity, right? So in this method, I am expecting the list of account IDs that user have selected. So here I am expecting that. And what I will be doing here is I will be invoking this method from here and passing the whatever the account IDs that has been selected, right? So we are invoking this method from here, whatever the account IDs that has been selected. Now, to invoke this Apex, we have to make sure that it's always an asynchronous call. So here I am making this particular method as an asynchronous, and here I go and make that call. So here I go and make the call and to the asynchronous method, that is the get related record, the method that we have imported. This method is expecting the input parameter, that is the account ID list. So here I am having the account ID list, and whatever the record that has been selected, I am passing that record. Let me go and store this in the form of variable. So here I am putting the variable name as the related data, a more logical name. Now, what we have to do now, whatever the output that we are getting, and this part is very important, we have to go and separate the two different tables. We have to make sure that whenever we are creating the two different, whenever we are separating the data, we do have all the cases loaded up in the separate data, because you guys can imagine now we do have the multiple rows, right? For example, I do have the ACC1, and for the ACC1, I do have the related cases. Sorry, I'm just putting it so that you guys can understand easily. Here I do have the related cases, and also I do have the related opportunity. For example, ACC2, for this also I do have the related cases, and I do have the related opportunities. As a part of final output, what I have to do, I have to go and combine all these related cases into the one array, and all these related opportunities into the one array. So there are array. Within the array, we do have another array. What we have to do here is we have to kind of a flat our array so that we can have all the related cases coming up with us. How we can do that? Again, there are multiple approaches to do that. But one of the easiest and the quick approach that I can think about is to go and use the reduce method. Reduce method is coming up from the JavaScript, with the help of which again we can go and flatten our array. So what I'll be doing here is, let me go and define few variables here. To do that, the first variable that I am defining here is the cases, in which I will be storing all the cases. Second variable that I will be putting up here is the opportunities, where I will be storing all the opportunities as well, right? So these are the two variables that I do have. Another thing that I need to do here is, before I go and flatten my data, I have to go and figure it out what all different columns that I want to show in my table. Definitely there are two columns. One is the account name and second is the case number for the cases. Along with that, I also want to show the priority. And in the case of opportunity, we do have these three columns. So let me go and define the column structure for both of them, and then we can go and figure out the data part as well. So these variables that I have defined, let me go and initialize these variables with an empty array, right? And here I go and define the two column. Again, rather than I go and start from the scratch, again I am copying the same column structure, and we will make the changes in that. So the first one that I am defining here is the case column. In my case column, the first thing that I want to show here is the account name. Let me go and give some another variable name so that I can show you. And here I am giving the field name also as the ACC name. Can keep the same also, that does not matter, right? Another thing that I want to put up here is for the case number. So all the variable names that I'm putting up here will go and populate all those field names while creating the flatten array. Okay, so here I do put the case number, where I do have the field name as the case number URL. because this is also we have to go and show in the form of the URL, and the field number I'm putting up here as the case number, and the last field that I am putting up here is the priority with the field name as the priority, right? So like this, I will be creating one more table or one more column structure, and this one will be for the opportunity now. So coming up here, pasting up here, this is my opportunity columns, where again the first field will be the account name, second one will be the opportunity. Here I am giving the field name here as the opportunity URL, and here I'll be giving the API name here as the opportunity name, right? And the last field that I want to display here is the stage. So here I go and put the stage field name. Again, I am putting up here as the stage with the type as text. So we have defined the column structure here. In my column structure, there are multiple columns that I put up here. Now coming back to the next thing, let's go and separate the data that we are getting. As I said, first I will be processing the cases, and then I will be processing the opportunity. So let's go and process the cases with the help of reduce method. So whatever the output that I am getting, I want to store this into the cases property that just now I have defined up here. Right, my data is available in the related data variable. So here I do have the related data, and I'll be using the reduce method to do this. Whenever you use the reduce method, there are two things that we do have. First one, we have to go and specify the accumulator in which you go and accumulate all the values. And the second thing here is the current record. Let me go and put the current record that I am iterating here is the account data. Okay, and so this is what you have to go and put. Here you do have the complete callback function to write. So this is the first parameter whenever you use the reduce method. Moreover, this is the second parameter that you have to put where you will be initializing your accumulator. So here I go and put the accumulator as an empty array. I'm initializing my accumulator with the empty array. Now let's go and iterate over this particular data. So first thing that I am checking, whatever the cases records that I am talking about, whether the cases records are available or not. So here, let me go and change this to put the cases data. That will be more logical name, because here we are focused more on the cases related data, or let's not put the cases data because it's a complete object. From that complete object, we have to go and get the case related data. So here again, I'm putting the account data dot. Let's check for the case list, whether the case list is available or not. So here I'll be putting account data dot case list, because there might be few accounts which does not have the cases, so it is important to have that check. Moreover, I'll also be checking the length of the case list is greater than 0 or not. If that is true, then only what we will do, we will go and do our further processing related to that particular records. Right. So coming back here one more time, if I'm doing something wrong, I believe. Let me go and check this. It is greater than 0. I believe something messed up because of the IntelliSense. Let me quickly do this one more time. This dot cases is equal to related data dot case related data dot reduce method. Reduce method, there are two parameters that I do have. One is the accumulator, and second one here is the account data. Right here I do have my callback function, and I'm passing the second parameter here is the empty array, right? So that I can go and initialize the accumulator. Now here I will be checking whether the account data have the cases or not. So here I'll be putting account data do have the cases available or not. Right? If the account data do have the cases, here I'll be checking for the case list and the length greater than 0. If account data do have the cases, we will iterate over it and we will push the data into our accumulator. Again, to do that, Here I'll be putting the account data dot case list dot map. Here I am getting the case record. What I have to go and generate from here is the array of objects, right? Basically, I'm looking for an object here. So whenever you look for an object, so you have to always put it in the round bracket, and then you go and specify your object details, whatever the object that you want to build up. So here I want to build up in my object, I want to go and populate the different fields based on what we have put up in the table. So the first field that we have put up in our table is the case number URL. So here I go and put the case number URL. That's what I want to populate. And my case number URL should be coming up from the case record. Okay, the URL should always be come up in the JavaScript. The same pattern, you have to use the slash plus case record dot id. Whenever you are putting the URL, the rule is always the same. Even you do it in the Apex or you do it in the JavaScript, you have to always follow the similar approach. Okay, so case number URL is coming up. But before that, let me also populate the account name URL as well as the account name. So here I go to the account name URL. Account name URL, it should be coming up from my related data, right? So again, I'm putting the slash plus case record dot account dot id, right? Because case and account do have the relation, so I am iterating over to the account and getting the id. Similarly, I'll be getting the account name as well, case record dot account dot name. I got the case number similarly from the case record, and the priority also I'll be putting up as the case record of priority. I'll be populating one more field here, that is the case ID. The reason being, I need this field in my data table. Whenever you go and process the data table in the HTML file, right, we have to always go and specify the key field. So for the case also, I need one key field. So here I'll be populating the case ID as my key field, right? So my data will be processed. Whatever the data process data that I do have, let me go and store that data into the one of the object, that is the process data. Once the process data is ready, what you can do, you can go and add this data into the accumulator. So here I go, and here I am putting acc dot push, and I will be copying this complete object that I have created. This is the object that we have created, right? I'll be copying, pushing that object into my accumulator. And once all the processing has been done, as a part of last step, what you can do here is you can simply go and return the accumulator. What you can simply do here is you can go and return the accumulator. So basically, accumulator in the form of array will get added in the form of cases. This is how we have flattened our data, and we have added the data back to the cases. Can we do the same thing in the Apex? The answer is yes. You guys can do the same thing in the Apex, but I want to show you a few JavaScript power. That's why I am doing it here. But in case you guys want to build this thing in the Apex, feel free to do that. Next thing that we have to do here is I'll be populating the related opportunities. Again, the logic will be the same. So here I'll be putting the process opportunities. I will be iterating over the opportunities one more time, right? The same way, I'll be using the reduce method. There is nothing much change. Here again, I'll be checking for the opportunity list data. If the opportunity list data is available, I will be iterating over the opportunity list data. I will be processing over all the fields. I'm simply using the IntelliSense because it is kind of a repeated stuff, right? I'll be populating the stage, and also I'll be populating the account ID as well. As a part of last step, again, I am adding the value into the accumulator and finally returning the accumulator to. And finally returning the accumulator to. So from here we have started the reduce method, and we are good till now. So this is how we have processed the opportunity. Now, what I want to do here is, as you guys can see in my output, I don't want to always show the table. I want to show the table only and only when they do have any data. So how I can control that? So here again, I'll be defining the two variables to control it. Let me go and put up here. That is show cases and the show opportunities. I'm initializing both this variable value as false, right? And coming back here to the show cases, here I'll be putting show the cases, this dot show cases. If this dot cases that we do have, it is having the length greater than 0. And similarly, if the opportunities which are having the length greater than 0, then and then only I should go and display that particular table. Initially, we are defining as an empty array. If the values are available, then and then only we go and show that particular data. Now coming back to my HTML file where I have to go and display that data. Now it's going to be very simple. What we have to do here is, let me go and split this screen into the two so that I can refer the field names easily. What we have to do now here is we have to simply go and load this table. So the first table that I have to load here is for the HTML. The first check that I will be putting up here is whether the data is actually available or not. Okay, so what I'll be doing here is, here I go and check template LWC if, coming to the property that is the show cases. If the cases data is available, then we will be displaying the cases. Similarly, if the opportunity data is available, we will be displaying the opportunity. Coming back to this one first, let me go and add some padding. So here I'll be putting the div class SLDS where p around medium, right? Around medium. So I'll be adding some padding, right? First, I want to go and display the text in the bold form. Like you guys can see here, I'll be putting the text like the related cases. So let me go and do something like this. So here I'll be putting the H2, using the SLDS class again, SLDS heading class, SLDS text heading medium, right? And what I will be doing here is, we don't need all those things. Let me go and minimize, expand this. Here I will be putting the text as the related cases, right? And after that, by using the lightning data table, I'll be displaying the data. So here I'm using the lightning data table. My key field that I have created here is the, what is that, case ID. So I'll be using here the key field as the case ID. My data is available in the cases, so I'll be using here the cases. My column structure that I have defined here is the case columns. So I'll be using the same case column structure and displaying the lightning data table. Again, one thing that I don't want to display here is the checkboxes. So I can go and hide the checkbox column and I can go and put the value as truth here. As simple as this, there's nothing complex that I am doing. It's simply a data table that I am displaying, which is a very simple task, right? Similarly, the same thing I want to repeat here as well. So I'll be putting my div class, and inside my div class, I will be adding the heading as the related opportunity and displaying the opportunities data as well. Like we have done. Again, let's go and validate whether it is showing everything correctly or not. So my opportunity ID, this is the key column. Opportunities, this is again the correct column. My opportunity column structure, let me go and check. This also looks good, and we are hiding the checkbox as well. So this also looks good. Let me go and deploy this. Again, as I said, there are too much learning in this particular video. So I do appreciate if you guys actually follow this video and try to implement this, okay? Because definitely you'll be learning lots of stuff when you will be doing this. And again, in case you're stuck, you can always have the code available on the top net. So let's go and navigate here, refresh the page and figure it out whether it is working as expected or not. Coming back. Oops, the page itself is not loading. So let's go and do it one more time. Okay, now the records got loaded, right? So here I am selecting something, right? You guys can see based on the selection, the cases are coming up. Might be the first one does not have anything. That's why nothing came up. but we are still waiting for the opportunity. Might be the opportunities are available for this one. Only the cases are coming, not the opportunities. That means something is not working on the opportunity front.